All right, Cubs fans, we are 2 outs away from wrapping up game 1 of this 2-game Pittsburgh's Pirates series in Pittsburgh. Thanks to 2 home runs from Seiya Suzuki. It is a good day to be a Cubs fan. Let's get it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. David Robertson comes in and he is dealing, already 2 down. He's got a strike on Newman here in the bottom of the 9th. Cubs looking to move to 3-1 on the season and maintain their first place position, with the Cardinals losing on Sunday and neither team playing yesterday. The Cubs and Cardinals are tied atop the NL Central. So Cubs looking to stay there, looking to stay in first place. And I don't know, maybe try to complete a wire-to-wire division title. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's game 4 of the season. We're not going to go too crazy about it. A little disappointed to see the game postponed. That would have been game 4 of the Brewers series, but nonetheless, the Cubs remain undaunted and sit atop the NL Central 2-1, and with one more out, they will be 3-1 and ahead of everyone in that division, with the Cardinals playing later on. So, how did we get here? The Cubs are up 2-1, only 2 runs on the board. A really good job of pitching by Drew Smyly, and then Chris Martin came in, pitched really well. Ethan Roberts pitched really well. Michael Gibbons gave up a home run in the 8th that cut it to 1, but really good job by the starter Drew Smyly in his Cubs debut, and also a really good job by the bullpen, with the exception of that one blemish by Michael Gibbons. And it looks like we could be, yes, wow, that was very close, but we are officially flying the W, my friends. That's right. Hey. Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win. And how did the Cubs get those 2 runs? Well, let's start off with one, Mr. Seiya Suzuki in the top of the 2nd off of Jose Quintana, former Cub. Little Oppo Dong. Really covered the plate well. I had really just such a good series of at-bats today, and he just deposits this one deep into the that big cavernous sort of right center field power alley out there. It's tough to get one out of there. And granted, it didn't go much beyond the fence. I think they said 397, 400-foot roughly home run. Now his 2nd home run of the day. That's right. Seiya Suzuki hit 2 home runs today. Home run number 3 on the season was a no-doubter. A no-doubter to left field. He gave it a run. He tried to make a play on it, but as soon as that thing left the bat, I was like, uh-oh, he put a charge into that thing. And of course, he gives the bow to Willie Harris as he rounds third base. You got to love it. You got to love it. Great addition to the squad. Seiya Suzuki does it again. Tells that ball, sayonara, get out of here. I got to learn some more Japanese because this man is here to stay, and he's going to be around for at least that 5-year contract. I'm assuming. I don't see the Cubs trading him or anything like that before that contract runs out. And who knows? They may be working on an extension as we speak because he has come out of the gates swinging and just dominating early on here with 3 home runs in 4 games. Really impressive start. I don't know that I've seen a Cubs player with a more auspicious debut than what Seiya Suzuki has put up, because this is not just him making his, having 3 home runs at the beginning of a season, only 4 games in. This is his first 4 games outside of the spring training, which is not real. Like, this is like in terms of like real competition that counts. These are his first 4 games in baseball in the States. It's a big deal. 3 bombs already. So very impressive. Very excited about that. The Cubs take it down. Like I said, really good pitching performance. Nico Horner had an amazing play in the hole to cut down a runner at first base. I mean, went deep in the hole, jumped, Derek Jeter style, just leapt off 1 foot and just hosed it all the way across. No bounce. Schwindel actually had to reach up to catch it. So all the doubts, all the questions about Nico Horner's arm at shortstop, replacing Javier Baez, who had an elite arm, I think he's answering those questions. Very, very nice range. Maybe not quite that next level range that Javier had, but I don't know. Like, how do you? He's not far, and so I don't know. I'm excited about the way that this defense is playing on the infield so far. You had one little dribbler that Patrick Wisdom couldn't field in time, but Brian Hayes was going down the line. I don't know that he would have made the play anyway. He kind of booted it, but they gave him a hit because I think that's what it was going to be anyway. It's just a tough play, like a little dribbler. When you got a guy with that kind of speed who just hits a little, not even a worm burner, because the worms were nice and cool. There was no speed to this ball. I mean, it was just a dribbler right past the mound. So an impressive performance by the Cubs defense today, and an even more impressive performance by not only the pitching staff, especially Drew Smyly, but of course, the new man on the scene. I'm not saying he's made us forget about KB, Rizzo, Javi, and all those guys, but damn, he's making a run for it. There's a lot of excitement in Wrigleyville. So welcome to Wrigleyville South. I am Chad. Get to know me, get to know the podcast. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share this episode with your friends. If you got friends who are Cubs fans or just baseball fans in general, I'm going to be setting up a Twitter account for this show here pretty soon, probably in the next few days, and look forward to that. I will be sharing that here, so look forward for that. I'm going to be posting different things, different content. And I'm probably going to start doing some stuff where I'm going to do some breakdowns, going through video and things like that to give you guys a little bit more of an in-depth look at some of the things that we're curious about. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that you are interested in seeing, if you want to go, break down maybe some of the minor league guys, look into some of that, I can do that. I can, grab some video and go through and kind of give you my take on what I think these guys are going to be able to do at the major league level, when I think they'll be ready. And we'll talk through, who's in front of them and what the likelihood is that they will make an appearance at the major league level anytime soon, and when that would be and what the circumstances might be that would facilitate that. But also, just as we get into the season, look, this is a pleasant surprise. I think a lot of us, let's be honest. Let's just completely be upfront. As Cubs fans, we were not sure what to expect for this season. And I know it's early, but a 3-1 start, taking 2 out of 3 from the Brewers, and really probably should have swept the Brewers And it would have been cool to see if they had had that fourth game, if they could have maybe taken that series 3-1. But knocking Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns out and taking those two guys down, these are big things. And they really got to Freddie Peralta too. These are like top level arms in Major League Baseball, and the Cubs took all of them down. And you cannot knock this new offensive approach that the Cubs have. So we have some stuff to talk about that maybe as Cubs fans, we were thinking that we'd be spending a lot of time on the farm system, these prospects, and just kind of digging into like, what's the future going to look like? But the future may be upon us a little more quickly than maybe we thought. This season is starting to have a lot of that 2015 feel to it for me. I don't think we have the elite pitching, but I think we have probably a more well-rounded, a more balanced offense. So if the Cubs can grab an arm here or there, or if some of these guys that they've been developing, if those guys can actually perform at a level that makes them kind of, I'm not going to say they're going to match that performance of those 2015, 2016 pitching staffs, because look, the way Kyle Hendricks, John Lester, and Jake Arrieta pitched in those two seasons was elite. And then you throw in Jason Hamill in that fourth spot in the rotation, and it wasn't anything to shake a stick at. He got his head kicked in a few times here and there, but he was a very capable and a very worthy fourth guy in the rotation. And then Travis Wood did his thing in 15, and then you went and got John Lackey for the 16 run that made him actually the fourth guy, and then kicked Hamill to the fifth spot. Your rotation this year is not that dominant on the top end. And I don't think they're going to go out and try to get a flame throwing closer or anything like Aroldis Chapman. But the end of this year or next year or anything like that. But this has that setup of a team of young guys with some veteran leadership that has the ability to really kind of leapfrog, I think, where a lot of people thought they might skip a year or two in this rebuild. Because I think that some of what Jed Hoyer has put in place over the last couple of years, even when Epstein was still there, has kind of put the building blocks in place for this to be a more rapid rebuild than what we saw in 2011, 2012, 2013, and into 2014. Because then you saw that blossom and it started to bear fruit in 2015. And then 2016, Katie barred the door. This has not only the potential to grow more quickly than that, but also I think have a little bit more of a sustained, wider, longer window, because so many of these guys are on really inexpensive contracts. There's still a lot of years on some of these inexpensive contracts, and some of the big money is starting to come off, and there's a lot of room for some purchases to be made of some big contracts in the next year or two, to where you could actually see the Cubs take some big swings. They didn't get Carlos Correa this year, but he's got those opt-outs, that it could be a Carlos Correa sweepstakes next year. And there could be somebody else. There are a lot of different possibilities for where this roster could go. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. It's 4 games into the season, but a 3-1 start. And when you see the promise that Seiya Suzuki has provided in the middle of that lineup with an instant infusion of what we came to expect from KB and Rizzo and Baez, when you see that automatically, like just right into the lineup from overseas, a guy that a lot of people were thinking might struggle, myself included. I thought, I just don't want him to struggle too bad where it starts to get into his head. He's hitting the cover off the ball, and he's just getting warm. So now, granted, pitchers are going to adjust to him, and so there's going to be that cat and mouse game, of course. But I really see the potential for with him and that infusion of excitement and energy. What Marcus Stroman brings to the table, if Kyle Hendricks goes back to his 2018, 2019, 2020 form, and even go back to, man, if you go back to 2016 for him, that would be amazing. But and the way he pitched in that middle section of last season where he was dominant, he had a really rough start and a really rough end, but sandwiched in between those two rough spots was a really dominant stretch for Kyle Hendricks. If he can pitch like that, and then you get these types of performances from Drew Smyly, you get what you got from Justin Steele the other day. This bullpen does what it can do. And this pitching staff and Daniel Moscos and what he's done with these pitchers and developing some of this new movement, there's some potential for this to be a really exciting, like I said, a jump start of a rebuild that I think we thought maybe we'd be looking at 2023, 2024, maybe even 2025 as like when we'd really start to contend. This team, especially in a weak National League Central, this team can contend for that division title this year. And with a couple more pieces, I'm thinking probably next year, that's when you might actually be able to see this squad compete for more than just the NL Central title. So a lot to be excited about. One more time before we go, I gotta, for those of you who didn't get to see it, we're just gonna break it down. I just want you to watch. Look at this. Look at the way he stays back and just drives this ball the other way. Not out ahead of himself. Quintana tried to go away. That ball leaked out over the middle of the plate, and he just tattooed it, but went the other way. Like he had that other way approach because Quintana was trying to work the right-handed bats away a little bit today. And then he was busting them up and in with his fastball from time to time. And then this Bandit kid, I don't know, kind of feel bad for him. He pitched really, really well. And this is the one mistake he made. And Suzuki really made him pay for it. Just kind of let that fastball leak out over the middle of the plate. And there you see it. So very exciting day for Seiya Suzuki and the Cubs. Great performance by Drew Smyly. He gets the win. Left with a 2-0 lead, or no, left with a 1-0 lead. They tacked on that run in the 7th. And then Gibbons gave up the home run in the 8th that cut it to 1. But at that point, Smyly had already left with the lead. So he gets the W. David Robertson gets the save. Robertson has been it's crazy. Like, he doesn't blow you away, but he gets the job done. He's just a guy who he knows how to work his pitches. He locates really well. He can still throw hard, and he's got good movement on that slider. So he's picking them up and putting them down. And I don't know if the rest of that bullpen can get to the point where they're handing it off to him. It could be a really, really interesting, really promising year for the Cubs. So with that, I'm gonna take a sip of water because my throat's getting dry. But I'm going to drink it, of course, out of my Cubs championship mug. And we want to remind everybody that what did we do today? What did we do today? What do we want to do every day? Let's not raise it upside down. We're not in a time of distress, but we fly the W, baby. That's right. That's right. Go Cubs, go. Let's go. So great game today. Great job by the Cubs. And 3-1, sitting atop the NL Central. You got to love it. Appreciate y'all coming in. I'm going to probably try to do something. If I don't do anything tomorrow, I'll be back for Thursday, maybe something late night for the after the Rockies game, because that game starts at 7:40 Central Time. So that's going to be a late start and a late finish. I'll probably try to do something that night after that game. Tomorrow is a really early game, 11:35 Central start, because they're playing in Pittsburgh. They've got to finish that game, get on a plane to Colorado, and then when they get done, hit the sack so that they can be up, at a decent time tomorrow, because they have it. Now, granted, it's a 7:40 p.m. Central start, but that's going to be 4:40? No, 5:40 or 6:40. I don't remember. Are they Mountain Time? I think they're Mountain. Yeah, they've got to be. It's the Colorado Rockies. Yeah, so they'll be 6:40 Mountain Time start. That's still early enough that you want to get out to the park around 1 or 2 o'clock, probably maybe 3 at the latest, to kind of get started. So they're going to have a quick turnaround, and I am going to be at work, so I'm probably not going to be able to do anything live during the game or immediately post game, but I'll see what I can do maybe tomorrow evening if time permits. So I appreciate you guys coming through. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe, and share it with all your baseball friends, all your baseball fan friends, and especially the Cubs fan friends, because this is going to be a fun place for us to just enjoy the outcomes of these games and share moments like these that happened today together with each other. I appreciate you all for coming out, and I'll see y'all next time. Wrigleyville South podcast out. Peace.